September 30th, 2024. A search team moves through the thick undergrowth of Hidden Lake Trail, their flashlight beams slicing through the fog. The lead dog, a seasoned border collie named Scout, suddenly stops. Nose twitching. Ears stiff. Then, a sharp, urgent bark. They've found something. But nothing could prepare them for what lay hidden in that dark, tangled hollow. 2 years earlier, a man walked into these woods and never came out. Daniel Mercer, 28 years old, an expert hiker, a scientist who knew these trails better than most, vanished without a trace. No broken branches. No distress signals. Just silence. For months, search teams combed every inch of this brutal terrain. Helicopters scanned from above. Dogs picked up faint trails that led nowhere. And then, nothing. Until now. Cut to slow-motion footage of a boot sinking into mud, then a quick flash of a torn orange backpack strap caught on a branch. What happened to Daniel Mercer? Why did it take 2 years to find him? And what did the search party discover that changed everything? Before we go deeper, hit like right now. This story will stay with you long after it ends. And subscribe, because what you're about to hear is only the beginning. Hidden Lake Trail isn't just a hike, it's a test. Winding through the Pacific Northwest's most unforgiving wilderness, this path seduces adventurers with emerald canopies and crystal creeks, before swallowing them whole. Steep drops hide behind curtains of fog. Loose rocks slide like ball bearings underfoot. And then there's Devil's Wash, a 200-yard stretch where the mountain falls away into nothing. Park rangers whisper about it. Locals cross themselves before attempting it. And on September 28, 2022, Daniel Mercer walked straight into its jaws. Daniel wasn't reckless. A trained ecologist, he logged every hike in a worn notebook. That morning, he checked weather reports, clear skies, and packed for 2 nights, dehydrated meals, a first aid kit, his grandfather's compass. He texted his roommate Ben, back by Sunday noon. Trailhead to Hidden Lake and back. At 7:03 a.m., he signed the trail register in his precise block letters. The last photo on his camera? A patch of blue lupins near the first ridge. By sunset, the fog rolled in. And Daniel Mercer stepped off the face of the earth. When Daniel missed his Sunday check-in, Ben knew. The Subaru sat untouched at the trailhead. Search teams mobilized at dawn, but Hidden Lake plays cruel games. Dogs lost the scent at Devil's Washington. Helicopters saw only a sea of treetops. Then, a breakthrough, a volunteer spotted Daniel's green Nalgene bottle near a creek bed. Next to it, his notebook, pages warped by rain, opened to a sketch of those same blue lupins. The final entry, smudged but legible, fog too thick. Rerouting west. West meant dead ground. West meant no one comes back. By Monday morning, Pine Hollow's entire SAR team was crawling over every inch of Hidden Lake Trail. Thermal drones sliced through the fog. Cadaver dogs worked 18-hour shifts. They found traces, a mud-crusted boot print here, a torn piece of orange webbing there, but Daniel? Gone. Like the forest itself had swallowed him whole. Then, at marker 17 near Devil's Wash, a breakthrough, Daniel's emergency whistle, still clipped to a snapped lanyard. The metal was scratched raw. Not from a fall. From deliberate, frantic blowing. Someone had been trying to signal for help. After 2 weeks, even the most optimistic rescuers started using the past tense. The weather turned. Snow dusted the high ridges. The official search was scaled back, but Ben never stopped. Every weekend for months, he'd hike new sections with Daniel's photo taped to his backpack. I kept expecting to see him just walk out of the trees, Ben later said. Like some dumb horror movie twist. But reality doesn't work that way. The theories piled up like the case files, maybe a cougar strike. Maybe a broken leg in some ravine too deep to spot from air. Maybe something else. Because here's what didn't add up: Daniel's pack was never found. His emergency GPS beacon never activated. And that notebook they recovered? The last entry wasn't frantic scribbling. It was methodical. Almost calm. 2 winters came and went. The posters faded. The news crews moved on. But in Pine Hollow, you could still feel the absence like a phantom limb. Then, on September 28, 2024, exactly 2 years to the day Daniel disappeared, a backpacker stumbled on something that would crack the case wide open. September 30, 2024. A geology student mapping rock formations veered 300 yards off-trail near Devils, Washington. That's when she saw it, faded blue plastic sheeting stretched between 2 fallen logs. Not a natural formation. Not an animal den. Someone had built a shelter here. Asterisk. Inside, a single leather hiking boot, its laces still tied. The exact make and size Daniel wore. And beneath it? A shallow depression in the earth, with fragments of bleached bone. Within hours, Pine Hollow's sheriff reactivated the case with new tech they didn't have in 2022. The cadaver dog that found the shelter. Same breed that worked the original search. Scout's too old for this, his handler admitted. But he wouldn't let me leave without him. That's when they saw them. Dozens of stone cairns, some knee-high, forming a crude arrow pointing deeper into the woods. The forensic anthropologist took one look at the femur's fracture pattern and knew. This wasn't predation. This was a 30-foot vertical fall. They found Daniel's backpack wedged between boulders, its contents preserved in the cold mud, a waterlogged but functional GPS device, never turned on. 6 empty gel food packets. And his camera, memory card intact. The final photos told the story frame by frame. Day 1, all smiles at the summit. Day 2, fog so thick it blurred the lens. Then, something different. A photo taken from ground level, looking up at fractured sunlight through trees. Blood speckled the lens. The timestamp, September 30, 2022, 4:17 p.m. The notebook entries started coherent. September 29, dislocated left knee. Can't bear weight. Following drainage west. September 30, built shelter. Water source 20 yards south. Then, the writing changes. October 2, hear them but they don't hear me. October 4, just 3 words, whistle doesn't work. Forensics would later confirm Daniel survived the initial 28-foot drop. His shelter location proved it, strategically placed near water but hidden from aerial views. He'd even tried creating signal mirrors from his camera lens. When they found Daniel's remains, something didn't add up. The rib fractures weren't from the fall. The scattered clothing showed distinctive tearing patterns. And then there were the claw marks, 4 perfect slashes across the shelter support log. Black bear. Likely drawn by the food packets. But here's what keeps our teams awake, the way Daniel's boots were arranged. Side by side. Laces neatly tied. Like he'd taken them off, intentionally. 3 facts defy explanation. First, the stacked stone cairns formed a perfect line leading back toward the trail, built after Daniel's injury. Second, the GPS device showed 43% battery remaining, with the power switch in the on position. Third, and most chilling, the final photo's metadata revealed it wasn't the last image taken. Just the last one that survived. Today, Pine Hollow remembers Daniel Mercer 3 ways: through the new emergency beacons every hiker now rents at the trailhead. Through Ben's foundation that trains search dogs nationwide. And through something quieter, the way experienced backpackers pause at mile marker 17. And blow their whistles twice. Just in case. If this story changed how you think about wilderness safety, share it. One click might save a life. Daniel's family used the recovered camera to create something remarkable. Every photo he took, even the final, heartbreaking images, were compiled into a wilderness safety guide. Proceeds fund the Mercer alert system, GPS units now mandatory for all backcountry permits here. As of this recording, 17 hikers have been located within hours thanks to this program. Daniel's mother said, he'd have hated being called a hero, but if his story makes one person more prepared, then, her voice breaks. Devil's Wash looks different now. Steel cables anchor the worst sections. Solar-powered emergency phones appear every half-mile. But the most striking change. The notebook. A waterproof journal now hangs at the trailhead, every hiker adds advice before entering. Page 1 still shows Daniel's original route, followed by 200 pages of handwritten wisdom from those who came after. The coroner's report brought closure but not answers. Why didn't Daniel activate his GPS? Why stack those stones if too injured to move? And that missing photo, deleted or corrupted? The camera's last video file was just static, except for 3 faint whistle blows at the 47-second mark. Matching the exact pattern Daniel taught his hiking partners. In the end, maybe the most important lesson isn't about gear or trails. It's that every disappearance leaves 2 stories, the one etched in official reports, and the one that lives where the trees still whisper. If you've watched this far, you understand. Like this video. Subscribe. And next time you hike, bring an extra whistle.